Right. Then, yeah, what you can do is, number is equals let's see. See, there's nothing much right now, only this part. Right, now we are done with these two. Now, I want you to quickly figure out how to calculate the factorial value and then calculate the factorial. Right now, for a given number, if it is 5, then you have to do it like this. Okay, think of how to do this and then calculate. Done it. Do it. Mhm. You get the number. Okay, let's see whether how it works. Yes. Good. Right. Okay. Any questions up to now?
Hi, sir.
Right. Great.
Hey.
Then you said no questions, right?
Yes, sir, I have one doubt.
Okay, please tell me.
Yeah, so maybe this is not related to this
No
program,
worries.
but yeah, uh, I want to know, sir, that you gave before two questions, right? How
Yes.
what is the way to build this logic? Because last two, actually, I
Okay.
struggle with that one.
Okay. The
So,
last question I
yeah,
asked you to do right now, I gave you a number and
yeah,
then I
first one
asked you
and
to reverse
second
it,
one.
right?
That also previous one also I little struggle with that one.
Yes. Now the
That to
problem
build the
is,
logic.
yes. Now that comes with the when you do more and more exercises, then only you'll be able to get the experience. From the experience, once you now it's like a maths question. When you see a question, you should get an idea. You should get flow of ideas how to start. If you don't get an idea how to start the question, then you're stuck there, and that's why we say that like I have no clue. I'm stuck here. You don't get any ideas, right? Then how you get the ideas? It depends based on the experience you have. That means when you do more and more questions, your brain will get trained to do the solve the whatever the logics. Right now, here in this scenario, okay, now this is the number. Let's say we have given. Now my first question is to reverse the get the sum of the digits. Now we know to get the sum of the digits. There should be a way to start. Now how to separate the numbers? Now this is just a one number, right? Then since this is just a number, then how to separate it? Then in order to separate it now, how can you separate? How can we get the last digit or the first digit? Like how can you get digit by digit? Now there should be a pattern as well. Then that's how we need to think now. In here, okay, we need to get, let's say, if you want to get 5, you have to modulus it by 10. Okay, when you modulus it by 10, you will end up by 5. But once you get the 5 out, then thereafter you need to have only this part. Then how to have that part? Then we came up, okay, then we have to flow divide the number by 10, whatever the number. Then it will be like this. Then again, when you do the remainder, then this will be the remainder. And when you flow divide the number by 10, it will be end up by having 1, 2, 3. Likewise. Then in order to think that, yes, first, once you have given the question, you need to figure it out like what needs to happen and how to extract the numbers. Now, for an example, you may have taken another approach. Okay, I need to convert it to a string. I'm going to convert it into a string, and then thereafter, I'm going to slice the string into substrings one by one, and thereafter, I'm going to convert the string into a number. Likewise, you may have come up with a way of doing it, but that is a one way, right? Because I have not given any conditions. I have said only convert this number, then or reverse the number, or get the total of the number. Likewise, then there are many ways of doing it. Then the way we read is just one way. And even right now, okay, I'll tell you right now what is that. Let me ask. What was the question? Let's say now, Adi, you may have already heard about this as well. Now these questions how to solve. Like now, let's say you have a mug which is 5 liters, and you have another mug which is 2 liters, right? Now you have given only these two mugs. Then right now, how to get the 3 liters? How to get the 3 liters? How you measure 3 liters from this mug? Or 4 liters, let's say. Okay, then 1 liter. Give me how to measure 1 liter. Okay, first you can. Yeah. How to measure a liter from the mug? You need to exactly measure only 1 liter. How can you do it? This is problem solving.
We want to take out 2 times from water from the 5 liter can.
Sorry.
If we take out 2 times water from the 5 liter into two can, sorry, 2 liter can, we can get 1 liter. Will be remaining in the 5 liter.
Okay, now what you are saying is now I didn't get you. Right now I want to measure 1 liter. How you gonna do that? Now we need to measure only 1 liter. There are several ways. Yes, tell me how you gonna do it.
First, we will pull the second liter one
Okay, this
one
one you're
time.
gonna fill. Okay,
Yeah. Then we have to throw that water again one time.
throw that water.
Yes.
That means you have unlimited water somewhere. Then you have only two empty mugs. No, then
Okay, okay, okay. We want. I thought 5 liter can is full. We want to take 1 liter from the 5 liter.
no. I want
Okay,
to
okay.
get measure 1 liter, but the mugs you have are 5 liters and 2 liter capacity.
uh, we will take pull the 5 liter can.
Mm-hmm.
After that, from the 5 liter can, we want to pull out the water into 2 liter.
Okay.
Then 2 liter can one time we have to throw. The
Mm-hmm.
second time we have to pull. Then the, then 1 liter will be remaining in the five
The
liter.
5 liter. Yes. Okay. That's great. What are the other ways? That's one option. You're gonna fill the 5 liter mug, and then 2 liter one is empty. You pour the water from 5 liter to 2 liter until it's full. Then remove it. Again, you're gonna fry, fill in the 2 liter. Then already 4 liters filled. Then remaining 1 liter is in the 5 liter mug. Correct. What are the other ways? Any idea? Okay, let's say you're gonna empty the 5 liter first. Then let's say you're gonna fill the 2 liter. You're gonna pour the water into the 5 liter. Now 2 liters fill. Again, you're gonna fill the 2 liter mug and then pour the water into the 5 liters. Then 4 liters fill. Again, you're gonna make full of 2 liter water and then pour the remaining for the 5 liter. Then 1 liter fill and 1 liter remaining in the 2 liter can. Right. Likewise, there are several ways, not only the one option. There are many options are available. Then you need to think how can you do that. Okay, one last one. Shall I ask? Okay, there is a light. Okay, there is a light, and there are three switches to control the bulb. There is a bulb, and then here let's say now outside there is a bulb. Okay, there is a bulb outside, and then there are three switches to control that. But you can't see the bulb from where you have the switches. Now there are three switches. No? Okay, like this. You have three switches. Switch number one, switch number two, and switch number three. Now you can't see it from here because switches are inside the. Okay, let's say the bulb is inside the room. Okay, this bulb is inside the room, so you will not be able to see now. There's the door as well, right? Then you will not be able to see the bulb whether it is lighting or not. And if you can go into the room only once, if you are allowed to go to the room only once to decide the switch, how would you do it? You have three switches outside the room, and you are allowed to go only one inside. How would you make sure this bulb is working or this lamp is working? Which switch is control the lamp? That's what we need to figure out. Whether it is one, two, or three. When it comes to the while loop, now we have tested this condition. Whether if this condition is true, this will run. If this condition is false, the while loop will now gonna get executed. Right. Now, what happens if you put a break statement inside a loop? What happens when you put a break statement inside a while loop?
It's if a condition is met, the loop get stopped?
Yes, if there is a break statement inside a loop, once the break statement reaches, that means it will immediately exit from the loop. It will stop the loop immediately if a break statement executed. If a continue keyword hits, if there is a continue keyword,
It will continue as long as the condition is met.
no. Right now, for an example, here if we have continue here, what happens here is right now. What do you think actually? What will happen here if he has a continue keyword? What would be the output? Now program will never stop. It will infinitely running. Why? It will remember once a continue keyword hits inside a loop, it will stop the current iteration. Now once it reaches at this point, it will skip these lines and then it goes to the next iteration. When a continue keyword hits, it will stop the current iteration and move to the next iteration. It will stop the current iteration and will move to the next iteration. Right now, I have already showed you previously as well. Let me show you again. If there is, let's say, x is less than or equals to 10, if x equals to if x modulus 2 equals 0, if x modulus 2 equals 0, I'm going to say continue. Otherwise, I'm going to print. Have I shared the screen? No, I have stopped sharing screen.
Yeah, it's on. You're sharing.
I have already shared. No, okay.
Yeah.
Here, where is this? Right. Now, what was I supposed to do? Right. X plus C equals 1. And then let's say you're going to print X. Print X. And again, I'm going to say end of the loop. And last statement. Last line. Right now, now you can see here when you run the program. Right now, once you run the program, here, when it is 0, now it is starting from 1. Then first you're going to increase the value by 1, then it becomes 2. Then 2 modulus 2 equals 0, so continue. Therefore, these statements will not get breached. Now that's why here you don't see 2. Okay, now here last line also will print with x line. Then you know the x value. No? Now this is the last line 3, last line 5, last line 7, 9, 10, 11. Likewise, you will see because now here it won't print the even numbers. Why? If it is an even number, this condition become true. If this become true, then it hits the continue. Once it hits the continue, it will skip the rest. It will skip the current iteration, goes to the next iteration. Is that clear? Therefore, remember when you reach to a break statement inside a loop, it will immediately exit from the loop. And if it reaches a continuous statement, it will stop the current iteration, move to the next iteration. Right. Then when it comes to for loop, right now for loop also used to iterate through a data structure or to now run to run the loop exact number of steps. When you want to run a loop for an exact number of steps, normally you use a for loop. Now, when you have no clue until the condition become true or false, if you want to run, then you normally use a while loop. But if you have for sure the fixed number of times you need to run the loop, then you will go with the for loops. Right now, since we have in a for loop, we need to control that how many number of times we need to run that we need to give. And then let's see how can we do that. And beforehand, if you want, like you can iterate through a string value. Like now for I in, if I have a word like hello, you can print the I values. Likewise, you can write a for loop. Now what happens is this for loop will run one after the other of each character available in this given string. Now this is a string. This will run each and every that means it will run number of characters available in the given string, and then every time it will take one character at a time. Therefore, if you have for loop that you can use to iterate over string, we could use it. And also, you can work with the when you want to run exact number of steps, then you could do this as well. Right. Now, for an example, previous example, if you can remember, that I gave you a question to get the sum more likewise. Now, for an example, think if you have done it, if you have done it using, if you convert it into a like string, the given number, then you would have easily done it, see, and then you write again, just a matter of you can convert it to integer and then get the total. Likewise. Right now, the break statements and the continue statements also perform the same way here. Now, if you want to run, let's say now, if it is a while loop, if you want to run like let's say up 0 to 10 number of times, then if you want to print 1 to 10 numbers, we could say x equals 1 and while loop x less than or equals 10, and inside that we can print and you can increase the x value by 1. But if you want to use the for loop, then you have to use the range function. Right now, in order to work with this, you need to come up with the range function in order to use the for loop. Right now, let's see how to work with the Python range function and what are the variations we have first. Likewise, we will figure it out. There is a function called range, right? Now, right, if you have x equals range 10 and for I now when you say range 10, now you can see here it gives you range 0 10, right? Then we have not typed 0, but now it gives you 0. Then remember, when it comes to a range, you can pass three values. Then what the values are: start, stop, start, stop, and step, right? And here when it comes to start, end, and step. Now, step also an optional and start also an optional values. Therefore, if you have given only, if you say only 10, if you say, if you provide only 10, now this is same as right now. Here it will take the start value as 0 because if no values are given for the start, default is 0 and then the end value as 10. Right? Now, if you provide, like let's say for an example, 1 and 10, if you provide 1 and 10, Then start value here, start here. If you say 1 and 10, then it would take start value is 0, sorry, 1, and the end value is 10. And also, right now there should be a way to increase the number one by one. No? Then the step value. Here the step value, if you are not provided, then the step value would be taken as 1. Step value would be taken as 1. Right now, these are optional values. Start and step are optional. If you do not define, then those would be default values. Default values of start value is 0, step value is 1. Right? Since you have given the start value, then here start value would be 1. Right now, for an example, if you have given, let's say 1 to 20, 1 to 20, and then you're going to give the step value also 2. Then start value 1, end value 20, and step value is 2. Step value means every time how you should increase the, what is the incrementation or decrementation to get the next number. What is the, how you reach to the next number, or how you reach to the end. Right now, what is the progress you should make in order to reach to a end? That's what you call as a step. Therefore, start, stop, and start, end, and step. Right. Then remember, if you just give only 10, then start value and the step value will be default value 0 and 1. If you provide those two, then those values will be taken. Right. Therefore, now remember here start optional, default is 0, and step you can write down if you wish. Step optional, default is +1. Right. Now that is what you need to remember. Okay. Now let's see how this works. Right now, if you have for x equals range 10, and if x equals range 10, if you write for I in x, for I in x, and then if you want to print x. Now you can see I have given only for I in x. Now you can see here the what happens. I'm printing x value. That's the problem. I should print I. Then here right, then it will print starting from 0, start value is 0, and end value is 10. Therefore, up to 10 it goes. Therefore, 0 to 10, not 10 included, 0 to 10. Therefore, see, including 9. Therefore, not 10 is not included. If you say 5 here, 0 to 4 will be printed, not 5. Therefore, n minus 1 value would be printed up to the n value. Now, if you say range 1, comma 10, then starting from 1 and it goes up to 9, 10 is not included. 1, 10, and if I say 2, 1, 10, 2, every time the difference between two numbers is 2. See, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Likewise. Okay, try to print right, 100 to 1 values. 100 to 1 values. Okay, 10 to 1 values first. 10 to 1 values. If you want to print 10 to 1 values, let's say if you print 10, start 10, end is 1, and minus 1 as the step. You can say 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 1 is not included. No, up to 1, up down to 1, it would be printed. Therefore, if you want 1 also to be printed, then you need to put 0. Then it would print 1 as well. See? Okay, try out this, and this is how the range function works. And remember, starting point is optional, and it is the default value is 0. And the step value is optional, the default value is 1. Therefore, if you do not define, the default values would get assigned. Right. Okay. Try out this range function, and thereafter we can discuss about the for loops. Right, then, right now when you're using a while loop for the for loop, at the end of the for loop also, now you know once the condition become false, it will printed like that means it will exit from the loop. Now, if you want to print 1 to 10 numbers, or you want to get the total of the numbers, let's say if you want to start from 1 to 10 numbers, then if you want to get the total, and even you don't have to do it like this, here you could write the exact thing here, for I in range, like this, and x equals 0, or let's say sum is equal 0. And if you want, you can say sum equals sum plus equals I, and afterwards you could print the total. Likewise, you could do the calculations like the normally way we did. Right. Now, when you use the break statement also, it will skip, and if you use the continue statement, it will stop the current iteration and move to the next iteration. Right. Uh, right. Then, what you gonna do? Okay, try to print the multiplication table using a for loop using Python. Print the multiplication table. You ask user to enter a number, and then for the given number, print the multiplication table quickly. Quickly print the multiplication table and find the factorial using for loop. What? Print the even numbers between. Print the even number, sum of even numbers, and the sum for the given start and end numbers. Right. Print the even numbers and the sum of the even numbers for the given number period. Now we have to first give the start and end number. Okay, do this quickly. And try to reverse a number as well. Reverse the number using code. Right, okay, try out this quickly. This is how you do the first one, and the second one. You can ask user to enter the multiplication table, the number user wants, and then now you can write. You get the x value, Then for I in range, let's say 0 to 16. We're gonna print x multiplied by equal to let's say 2 and multiplication table. Likewise, you can print the multiplication table. Find in the factorial that I want. No one has shared me the answer for the factorial. Quickly share me the answer for the factorial and reversing a number. Reversing a number that you can do it later even. Just share the number, the code for how to find the factorial using a for loop. That's it. Right, I think I found that. You're gonna get there. The number of 5, factorial is 120. Okay, this is how you calculate the factorial as well. You get the input and you're gonna run the for loop for the number plus 1 times sum equals I into sum. Right, okay, great. Right, okay. If you have any questions from up to now, please ask because I'm going to talk about the nested loops. Right now, there may be scenarios that I want to print. Mm, let's say, like in chapters, when it comes to when you have the bullets and numbering, like you put 1 and 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, likewise. And I wanted to try out how to do it using a for loop. That means if you want to print, for an example, if you want to print like 1, if you want to print 1, and thereafter if you want to print 1.1, if it is 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.2. And then if you want to print 2, and then 2.1 and 2.2 and 2.3 and 3, likewise if you want to continue that. So and up to 10, if you want to do it up to 10, how can you write it? Now that can be done using the nested loops. Let's see how can you work with the Python nested loop. Right now, thereafter we can start talking about how to print the how to print the numbers or number patterns. Likewise, then we can see. Right now, nested loop means one loop is inside another loop, right? Is called as a nested loop. Now, for an example, okay, now let me write this. Right now, first for loop, I want to run from 0 to 5. And every time it runs, I need to print the I value. And thereafter, I need to have another loop starting from 1 to 3, that's a 0 to 4. Not 0, starting from 1. And it should go up to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to print, let's say, J value. And I want to print with the tab space /t I dot J value. Now, this is how I can print like this. Now, what I did, I have the first for loop. First for loop is to print this I value, this one, and also to go to the next one. And the second for loop is to print when each time the first for loop. Now, for an example, when I equals 0, to print, this loop will run for 3 number of times. And each time it prints, it will print like this. And then you know this /t is used to provide a tab space, right? This is how we do it right now. If you do not put this /t right now, if you do it like this, now let's say this, I'm gonna print. I'm gonna write 100 to. Then you can see start 0. This is run by the I value. The second loop runs this number of times. Every time the first for loop runs, the second loop runs for, yes, from 100 to 105. That means 5 number of times it will like this, it will run. This is how you're gonna get printed. Right now, let's say I want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times using the nested loop. That also possible. I want to run this for 4 times, then 0 to 4 times. I want to print right now. Okay, here I have to talk about print function as well. Okay, let's now Python. The problem is here now. It prints. Okay, let's try out. No, okay, let's try out. Okay, we need to print 0 to 4 4 times. Then here should start from 1 to 6. 0 to 4, no need to put 0, no. The default value is 0 anyway. 1 to 6. Now, this is how it got. Because like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One after the other. Right now, I don't need to print it like this. Now, because the print statement print the current value, and then thereafter it will go to the next line. Therefore, now how can we do that? Right now, we will discuss about the print method um, as well later on. But now, for the time being, if you want to print only this, and then if you don't want to print the if you don't want to go to the next line, because print method also has an attribute called end, then you need to have end equals thing, right? And so now here it won't go to the next line. Therefore, after the for loop, print statement. Then likewise, we could do it now. Here, what I did was right now I have removed the attribute. Now, new line attribute. I have instruct the print function because the optional there's a parameter called n. The n parameter optional value is the new line. Therefore, by default, if you do not provide the n value, like in the range method, we discussed start and step are default values. No, like here also there are default values. If you do not specify the n value, it will be a new line. Then I don't want to go for a new line. Then I'm gonna go for space. If you want to have a tab space, then you can have /t. Right now, if you put it like that, that means you are keeping a tab space. See, right now, if you don't want anything, you can just remove the space and say. If you want right, define a value, you need type n equals whatever it. If you don't want, the optional would be new line. Right. Now my next question is try to focus on printing first line 1, second line 2, next line 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this. Try to print this format using a nested loop. Try out. Right now, what to do? Right now, I want to, let's say, first one start from 0 to 4. Here, if I say up to I, now there is a problem. Now, initially, the sun is blank. Now, the problem. Now, even if I have put 5 here, because starting from 0, both, that's the case. Therefore, I need to make sure this is starting from 1. Then start printing 0. No. Then I don't need the zeros to be printed. What should I do now? Then again 1 into I. Now again this one is missing now. Then you can go for I plus 1. Then you would be able to print like this. Right now, instead of j values, if you want, you can print asterisks. Like this. Then asterisks would be printed. Now let's try how to do the reverse of it. Now we just did uh, 1, 2, 3. This now. Let's try to print 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Let's try to print this side. Now we have to start from 5, no? Okay, starting from 5 and ending value will be 0 and then let's say -1. No, what? No. Since we started from 5 and then start value 5, end value 0, every time we reduce 1 by 1. Now we have done this. So let me break this. Okay, now this is how we did it. Now, Right now, try out now inside a nested loop. If you put a break statement inside a nested loop, what will happen? And then try to complete the other part. Now here we have done only half of the pyramid. Right now, this one, if you consider the top part, the other left side. Try to focus how to get the left side of this. I'll do the complete one now. Let's say now we need to write it for 5 times. How can we do it? Let's say we need 5. We need to start from 1 to x plus 1 number of times. Right. Then the second column, chain range. We start from 0. So we need to have spaces and then we have to print. Chain range. What this is it? Oh, first one. Ah, yes. Right now, like for this, you could do it now. What I did here is using the first for loop is just for the go line by line. And this one is to keep the spaces here. And the second loop is to print the asterisks. Right now, it's up to you to complete the other part, the latter part. Okay, now we are done with the looping constructs as well. So next week we can start with the collections data structures. Right. Any questions you can ask now? Otherwise, I'm done for today.